In this video, I want to talk about dropping the idea of having a good day or attempting to have a good day and instead focusing solely on starting your day well. It can be very frustrating trying to have a good day because there are so many parts and it can be very overwhelming, and any one of those things, those intentions or plans goes wrong, we find ourselves having a bad day. But it's a lot easier if we start to focus on how to start the day well, and there's a very good reason for this. It's to do with something called exponential decay, or positive momentum, we could say. Now, let's say, we all know about this willpower we have, and it's like a store of energy, and you have so much decision-making power, willpower in your day. But let's say, for instance, you're starting off your day and you have a decision to make, the first thing you want to address in your day. And I often ask people, how sure are you that you're going to do that? How sure are you that you're going to show up for yourself and do that? And people will often say, maybe 50% chance that I'm going to do it. They don't feel certain about it at all. So that's where we're starting. So let's say there's a 50% chance that the first thing that you do, at the start of your day, there's a 50% chance that you do it. If you don't do that thing that you intended to do, what are the chances that you will do the second thing that you intended to do? It's no longer 50%. It drops to about, if we're using this thing called a exponential decay model, it's kind of a mathematical theory or function. A lot of things in the world have these decay models, like the battery power in your phone tends to go down, obviously, right? But it goes down sort of in this direction. Maybe it's linear, I'm not exactly sure. But humans, it's not linear. It gets the rate of decay, that things get worse, not linearly, but exponentially. Faster, in other words. So the chances of you actually doing the second thing after not doing the first thing is no longer 50% if you started off at 50%. It drops to about 35%. If you don't show up for that one, it drops to about, for the third thing that you intend to do, it's 24.5%. The fourth attempt, we'll say, if you have failed to show up for 3 before that, you're now at 17.15%. And the last one I'll give you is 12% chance. So the fifth thing that you've attempted to do, and this is the nature of procrastination, you start off at 50%. Let's say there's 5 start times that you're going to attempt. If you don't do the first 4, there's about a 12% chance that you do the last one. Okay, so you can see that instead of focusing on how can I get everything done today, how can I have a good day, the real battleground here, almost all of it, is in the first thing that you engage with in the day. Now, the opposite of this is also true. So let's say this person is starting off with a 50% chance that they're going to show up for the first thing that they intend to do in the day. If they do show up for that, the chances that they will show up for the next thing are about 60%. The third thing, it's about 72%. The fourth thing is 86.4%, which is interesting, right? Because you're getting more and more tired as the day goes along. But what this is describing is, you could call it exponential reinforcement, or you could call it psychological momentum. The last one, the fifth thing, it's about 100% likelihood. And that's actually possible. People think it's impossible to get to a point where you're 100% likely to show up for something. But in my experience, it is absolutely possible to know with certainty that you're going to show up for yourself to do something. I think that's what we should aim for. I think I know it's possible. So you can see the difference here. The idea of this video is stop trying to plan the perfect day. That's too broad, right? Get narrow in your focus and come back to this whole thing really could be boiled down to, how do I start my day? And I'm sure you've heard many people online talking about start your day well. But I'm trying to show you here that the factor of psychological momentum and exponential decay are really showing us that this is where it's at in terms of trying to have a good day. And it's also a feature of procrastination in general. Like, let's say a person is working on a project for their manager at work or something, and they're procrastinating on it. You will almost always find them thinking to themselves, if you ask them, like, what are your thought process on this? How am I going to get this thing finished? I need to get it finished. When will it be finished? Or a person in university studying for their exams. When am I going to finish studying? I have to get it done or finish their assignments. A big feature of procrastination is a focus on finishing things. And that is the worst thing you could do. What you should be always trying to train yourself into is focusing only on starting things. Again, so when do I start my project? When's the next decision I'm going to make? Because that brings you into empowerment. If you have like a 5,000 word assignment to do, you can't finish that in one go. You can start in one go, and you could just subsequently, you just keep committing to starting and only focusing on starting. So that thing about focusing on the end, it's like this. It's like the same thing we do when we're focusing on having a good day. It's too much to take on, but you can get super focused on how do I start my day. Now, I don't necessarily mean that you have to jump out of bed and get into action. What I mean is you're deliberate in how you start your day. So for you, it could be, I feel that I'm not really great in the mornings, so when I wake up, I need an hour and a half to chill out. But then after an hour and a half, I'm going to do this, right? That's perfectly fine. That's being deliberate and being intentional with it. What I'm really saying is not being intentional with how we start our day. It could be that you decide, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to get out of bed, I'm going to go and do something, right? That's absolutely fine. Each person has their own individual idea of what will work for them. And in that sense, there is no plan that will work. But what does work is showing up for the first thing in the day, because that will create this psychological momentum. So when we don't, we experience exponential decay. Things get harder. It gets harder and harder to engage with things once we have procrastinated on them. And that has been my lived experience. Like when I was, chronically engaging with procrastination, I would have like multiple times when I'd attempt to do it. By the time I'm on the fourth one, a part of me already knows it's not going to happen, even though I'm telling myself there's this intention to do it. According to this model, probably was about a 17% chance that I would do it. Now that could be different for other people. This is assuming that you're starting off with a 50% chance that you're going to show up. It could be higher than that, it could be lower than that, but many people say it's kind of a 50-50 thing for them. So the takeaway from this video is only focus on starting your day. And really try and keep it doable. Don't overwhelm yourself with it. But be intentional. That's really where the big changes can take place. If you can get good at mastering the first thing you do on a daily basis. And you will experience the rewards of psychological momentum if you do. Hope that's useful. If you want to learn more, I have a book on procrastination. You can find it. The link is below. Or you can reach out to me if you're interested in one-to-one therapy. My name is David, and thanks for being with me, and I will see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.